Welcome to Night of 1,000 Dinners, a celebration of International Women's Day. Woohoo! And this year, especially, United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 15, Life on Land, is our focus. I'm Barbara Eckstein. I'm president of the Johnson County United Nations Association, and we're grateful to all of you and to all of our supporters of this fundraising event. I'd like especially to thank our sponsors, who you can find, if you haven't already, on the back of your program. So thank those folks when you encounter them. And I'd like to thank our generous individual donors and also our in-kind contributors. Those flowers are pretty beautiful, and vendors, and they are listed on the back of your program at the bottom, so might note that as well. I also want to draw your attention to a new thing for 22-23 International Women's Day honor roll, because we have this year two extraordinary women to pay particular attention to. So I ask you to pull out that part of your program and notice those illustrious folks. And I invite you to take this part of your program, especially home with you, and you can use it as a bookmark, and then you will remember these two women always. So. Okay. We JCUNA can contribute all of the money that we've raised for this event, which is more than we've ever raised before, as I understand it. We can contribute all of this money to our 3 local organizations and the World Food Program, because the Iowa City Office of Equity and Human Rights is covering all of our expenses. So all of the money you've contributed is going to our groups. Okay. So, and also I hope you'll notice your table tents that draw attention to the place of Iranian women at this point in time. We might also remember women in many other places who need our support. So this evening, there's reason for much gratitude and continued unflagging action. As we begin our program in support of Life on Land and for organizations that work to defend that life, I want humbly to ask all Indigenous peoples, past and present, to welcome all of us into this space of Johnson County that has been their home before it was ours. We hope that what we do here honors them, this place, and all life within it. And now it's my great pleasure to announce your guide for this evening, Bijou Maliabo, who is a member of the Iowa City Human Rights Commission and also my JCUNA board colleague. She will be our MC.
Hello, everyone. My voice is always loud, so yeah. We are happy to have with us this evening Johnson County Supervisor V. Fixmeyer Orise, if she's here, a longtime supporter of Life on Land. Please clap for her.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for being here tonight as we celebrate International Women's Day and this year's theme of Life on Land. My name is V. Fixmeyer Orise, and I'm the first transgender, queer, Filipinx American Johnson County Supervisor. It is my great pleasure and privilege on behalf of Johnson County and the Johnson County United Nations Associations to welcome you here tonight. We are thrilled to have you in person and also online to participate in this special occasion. Thank you for coming as we deepen our commitment to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and support of our local organizations. As a watershed planner, I have had the distinct honor of working with each of these organizations tonight and their leaders. I can tell you that their vision for protecting and caring for our land is the future that I want to live in. I hope you enjoy this evening, the events this evening, and it's wonderful to celebrate with you all tonight in person and also online. Maraming salamat.
Next, JCUNA is proud to support the work of Field to Family to promote a more local, healthy, and sustainable food system. They envision a region where people eat with the seasons, where farmers make a living, and our ecosystem is diverse, abundant, and healthy.
Field to Family is an educational nonprofit food hub based in Johnson County. We bring the farm to school, both to the classroom and the cafeteria. We partner with over 40 local farmers to source local for our online farmers market, as well as offer wholesale local foods to institutions in our region, such as food pantries and schools.
We've been really happy to serve 28 different schools this year, and we've still got 9 more to reach our full 36. They've really enjoyed things like apples, yogurt, cheese curds so far this year, and we're really excited to bring them things like tomatoes and cucumbers when it starts again in the fall.
Field to Family's mission aligns with the UN Sustainable Development Goals through our work to create a food system that is more local, healthy, and sustainable. We accomplish this by making local food more accessible to more people through our partnerships with Iowa growers. Part of this education we provide to chefs, food banks, and school nutrition directors to put together menus that feature fresh, seasonal foods.
We're on the road 2 to 3 times a week delivering local food to schools. Everything from dairy, meat, eggs, mushrooms, any products that Iowa has to offer, we are able to bring it to schools.
Through Field to Family's Farm to School programming, we bring the farm to the schools through in-school field trips we call farmer fairs. Students not only get to taste samples of the local food, but also meet the farmers that grow the foods.
A huge part of the work we do to build a community-based food system requires collaborative community partnerships. Transforming our current food system into one that enhances our environmental, economic, and community health requires all of us working together to make it happen.
We rely on community support to operate and expand our impact. We have big plans for the coming season and are grateful for your meaningful support, not only for Field to Family's mission, but for our work to build a more community-based food system.
Yes, and now Executive Director Michelle Kenyon is here to accept this recognition on behalf of Field to Family. Please clap your hand for her. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate this support. It really feels good to know that we're working to enhance our community and that there are those that appreciate that. Please thank your farmer and thank those who made the food today. It's really important that we acknowledge all the hard work that came into this meal and the meals that we get out every day. I want to just give a shout out to Emily Roberts, our operations manager, and Olivia Bowman, our operations coordinator, who are here tonight, done great work for us. And again, thank your farmer, and wherever you see, wherever you eat food, please ask what farmer grew it. Thank you so much.
Andrew Renee is a graduate student at the School of Music. He will sing 2 songs by Amanda Aldridge, a British woman of color of the early 20th century who has a career singing and later composed a thought voice. Some of her students, including Paul Robson, Roland Hayes, and Marian Anderson, all well-known and established singers. Andrew will first sing Pant, followed by Kentucky Love Song.
While dry-eyed I remain, and calm amid my own heart's dearth. Calm amid my own heart's dearth. All pent in agony. Rain, rain upon my scorching soul. Rain, rain upon my scorching soul, and flood it as the sea. The moon has crept from her fleecy bed. The stars are like gold dust overhead, like gold dust overhead. Somebody comes through the pearly dew, and he's thinking soon he will be with you. He's thinking soon he will be with you. The purple spaces of sky are bright, for 1,000 stars are out this night, Somebody calls and the world is new, for it's only sweet when it brings me you. It's only sweet when it brings me you.
Thank you so much. Wasn't this beautiful? Yes, thank you. Thank you again. JCUNA is proud to support the work of Great Plains Action Society to address the trauma Indigenous people and Earth have faced, and to use education, direct action, cultural revival, mutual aid, and political change to prevent further colonial capitalist violence. Great Plains asserts that a vital part of tribal sovereignty and tribal health is to address food sources and reclaim first food. Executive Director Sekawis Nobis will be here to accept this recognition on behalf of Great Plains Action Society. Please welcome her.
Tansi, good evening. My name is Sekawis Nobis, and I just want to say it's a real honor to be here to accept this award. The United Nations mechanism is exceedingly important, especially for Indigenous peoples in terms of protecting our land and our sovereignty and our bodies. And so I was really happy to find out that Johnson County had a United Nations association, and I hope we can continue to do more good work with them. The United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues is particularly near and dear, not just to me, but to other Indigenous peoples working throughout the state. And I encourage everybody to learn more about UNDRIP, United Nations Declaration on Indigenous Peoples, so we can also use those to protect more land, more sovereignty, and more people from colonial violence. And I want to give a special shout out to Mahmoud Fatil, who is our Land Defense Director, in the audience. The one where the slide actually stopped on, glitched for a while, and he's actually wearing the same sweater, so I love it. So you can recognize him from the picture, standing in front of a bulldozer. We do those things. We are those people. And so, again, thank you. Ahai ki tata mahin, and I look forward to the future with everybody here.
The dance troupe, folklorical, has sent us Carlita, Perez, and Martinez to perform for us this evening. Welcome. Beautiful. Thank you so much. And JCUNA is proud to support Grow Johnson County as they work towards a just food system by improving healthy food access through sustainable food production and hands-on education.
Grow Johnson County is a 5-acre vegetable farm located on the Johnson County Historic Poor Farm in Iowa City, Iowa. The program was started in 2015 with a mission to use sustainable farming practices to improve healthy food access and to educate future growers. Grow was created to address the immediate need for fresh, locally produced fruits and vegetables at food pantries, early care, and elder care sites in Johnson County. Each year, the Grow Farm produces over 30,000 pounds of food that is directly donated through our distributor, Table to Table, to 16 partner organizations throughout the county. Since Grow's inception, we've produced over 160,000 pounds of food for our region. Although we are proud of those statistics, they only show part of the work that we do. One of our highest priorities on the farm is moving towards a more just food system that works for everyone. So what does that look like for us? We strive to be good stewards by farming in a way that nourishes the land, ecosystem, our neighbors, and the community. On the farm, we use sustainable practices, including cover crops, beneficial insect habitat, and organic pest and weed management. We want to make sure our neighbors are receiving food that is not only nourishing, but enjoyable and culturally relevant. We directly ask recipients what they want to eat through our annual Voice Your Choice survey and use the results to inform crop decisions. We acknowledge the systemic oppression of people of color in this country. We are committed to centering racial justice and social equity in our ongoing efforts as a program and within Johnson County. Through collaborative, intentional, and actionable efforts, we are working alongside Black, Indigenous, and people of color in exploring our relationships with food, land, and agriculture. Our daily work on the farm and in the community is to be listeners, learners, unlearners, and active partners in the movement toward food sovereignty. We do this work so that we may all have the ability to shape our food system. To that end, Grow trains growers that are underrepresented in the food system to build a more inclusive, equitable future. We offer hands-on learning for all experience levels and interests, including volunteer opportunities, apprenticeships, and youth education. Our volunteer program provides opportunities to get people actively engaged in growing food on the farm, regardless of age or skill. Grow Johnson County offers paid seasonal apprentice positions. Apprentices work beside us on the farm, learning about organic vegetable production, safe produce handling, on-farm conservation, and food security. We also provide a garden experience called Can You Dig It, which brings youth and teen groups to the farm to connect with the land and explore careers in agriculture. And finally, we're proud of the women and non-binary leaders on the farm who managed our operations in 2022. We provide them opportunities to confidently do farm work traditionally assigned to men, including driving heavy machinery. 2022 was our 7th year in production. Volunteers, monetary donations, and in-kind support are the driving forces for all the work we do on the farm. Each year, the program depends on strong support from volunteers and donors. As our world and food system face complex challenges like climate change, inflation, and supply chain breakdowns, we need support more than ever. You can help us continue to grow by visiting our website and making a donation or reaching out to us to see how you could support our program. We believe in the right to food. Help us make it a reality.
Claire Zabel is here to accept this recognition on behalf of Grow Johnson County. Please welcome.
I'm Claire Zabel, the farm manager at Grow Johnson County, and I've been with the organization for about 2.5 years. And I've worked in farming most of my life, so I'm kind of stuck with it. But I we're so honored to accept this recognition, and I'm really proud of the work that we are doing in community and with the volunteers and donors without which we would not be able to function. And I'm also very proud to be surrounded by hardworking women who get things done when it needs to be. And with farming, there are days when you just have a long list and you got to get through it all. So it's good to have dependable people. And lastly, I wanted to mention that we have an annual report. So if you are interested in looking at that, we did a piece actually about women in our organization and also with our apprentices, and we are trying to provide opportunities for people to feel empowered and drive a tractor. It's very fun. I recommend it. But thank you very much.
Mary Jane Knight, singer, keyboardist, actor, blogger, will offer us a reading from the work of another multi-talented artist, the French writer and actor Colette.
On this International Women's Day, I would like to share with you a prose poem written by one of the most famous female authors in France, Colette. She was born in 1873 and died in 1954. She was a brilliant, vibrant woman who was a pioneer of the French school of autobiographical fiction. Intense and sensuous, she wrote stories of a woman's life from childhood on. Her most famous novel in the English-speaking world was Gigi, made into a celebrated musical and film. Colette personally picked Audrey Hepburn for the role, which then launched Hepburn into stardom. In Colette's writing, she explored gender roles and gender fluidity, as well as in her life, and she truly lived ahead of her time. But behind every great female leader, inventor, and artist throughout history and still today, there is a story, known or unknown, of how each woman broke through the visible and sometimes invisible web of patriarchal suppression to find her voice. Although Colette's first 4 books, chronicling the fictional French schoolgirl Claudine, became incredibly famous in France, they were written at the behest of her first husband, a journalist and editor known by the pen name Willie. At times, he would lock her in a room to spur her to completion. Willie had the books published under his own name and kept the copyright and royalties, even after she divorced him. Her first book, published under her own name, Colette Willie, in 1908, is entitled, in French, Les Vers de la Vigne, The Tendrils of the Vine. It is a collection of prose poems, with the first prose poem also entitled Les Vrils de la Vigne. It tells the fable of the nightingale finding its voice. On this day, I hope that Colette's words will inspire us all to uncover and celebrate women's history, support women throughout the world, and find our collective voice. The tendrils of the vine. Inflexible, tenacious, avid, and treacherous, the tendrils of a bitter vine wrapped around me, while in the middle of my springtime I had fallen into a happy and trusting sleep. But with a frightened lunge, I burst all of the twisting threads, whose double claw-like sprigs already gripped my flesh, and I fled. When the torpor of another honeyed night weighed on my eyelids, I again feared the tendrils of the vine, and I let loose with a lament that revealed my voice to me. Alone, wakeful, agitated, I saw rise before me in the ash blue night a star voluptuous and morose. To make sure I no longer fall into a happy sleep in treacherous spring when flourishes the gnarly vine, I listen to the sound of my voice. Sometimes I feverishly say things usually left unsaid or whispered very low, and then my voice languishes to a murmur because I dare not say things that have been said, that have been screamed long before me for millions of years. I want to tell all that I think, all that I know, all that enchants me, all that hurts me, all that astounds me, all that revolts me. But every morning, a cool, sensible hand is placed on my mouth, and my exalted cry reverts to moderate verbiage, to the loquacity of a child who talks out loud only to calm himself. I no longer know happy sleep, but I no longer fear the tendrils of the vine. Colette.
Beautiful, isn't it? Finally, JCUNA would like to recognize and support the UN's World Food Program, not only for the distribution of food to hungry people throughout the world, but especially for its work addressing food insecurity in the most fragile and degraded environment, places where climate change and cycles weather extremes have a disproportionate effect, worsening already existing threat to food security. We invite you to become a member of the Johnson County United Nations Association. Help us raise support for the UN's work responding to hunger, poverty, inequity, climate change, and more. You can stop our membership table on your way out. It is as easy as a pie. Or you can go to unausa.org/join and become a member online. Be sure to scroll down to the Johnson County, Iowa chapter and click on us. And you can also find the information on the screen. And lastly, thank you again to our supporters, to Supervisor Fixmer O'Rise to our honored organizations, to women on our honor roll, and to all of you. Because we say goodnight, I invite you to text 306-44 and type in women to urge the U.S. Congress to stand up for gender equal world. Good night and have a safe travel.